So I get a lot of phone calls with people wanting to buy foreclosures, or they'll say, "Hey, can I get a list of foreclosures?" All right. So today I'm gonna show you three foreclosed properties that are listed, available on the market. All right, and we're gonna talk about the foreclosure process as well. When people call me and they say, "Listen, I want to buy a foreclosure," and there's so many different ways to buy a foreclosure that a lot of people don't understand. You know what I mean? So here's the foreclosure process. All right, when a homeowner is late on their mortgage payments or late on their taxes or whatever, the debtor can start the foreclosure process. They have to go to the court and file a list pendings. Once they file a list pendings and start the court proceedings, it then becomes public information. Okay. So once it becomes public information, it gets kicked out to Zillow. You can go to Zillow and look at properties that are in pre-foreclosure. This is now the pre-foreclosure phase. All right. So the judge will start the proceedings. The first thing the judge is going to recommend is to do a mediation. All right. So that's when the homeowner and the debtor can try to work their problems out outside of court. All right. So what happens in the mediation is the bank can allow you to do a forbearance, is one way to stop the foreclosure. A refinance is another way to stop the foreclosure, or a loan modification is another way to stop the foreclosure. There's a lot of people that will stop foreclosure by filing bankruptcy. If you file bankruptcy, you can stop the foreclosure proceedings, but at that time the mortgage company will probably call the loan due. All right. So once you go through those steps, if you come up with a resolution, fine, your house is out of foreclosure. All right. If you can't come up with an agreement or a resolution with the bank, they go back to the court, and then the judge makes a motion for strict foreclosure. The judge will send an appraiser out to the property to establish value. All right. And they will also assign a foreclosure committee, which is basically an attorney that is supposed to handle the foreclosure sale of this house. All right. Now, this is further down the line. This can take anywhere from like 3 to 6 months, maybe even longer, before a property gets to that point of strict foreclosure. All right. Once the judge makes the ruling for strict foreclosure, they do the appraisal, and the attorney has to set up an auction. They will set up the auction. They put the big white sign in front of the property, let you know when the auction date is. They have to publicize it. It has to go into a newspaper, or some sort of online marketing, to where they have to market the property for sale. But the sale is an auction. Now, in order for you to purchase that property in that auction, it'll tell you, in the advertisement, that you have to bring a certified bank check for, $20,000 or $30,000. You have to bring that check just to get into the bid. Now, just because they put that number there, that amount there, that doesn't mean that that's where the auction starts. That's just a deposit to get into the bidding. Okay. Now, what happens is the bank, right? The bank or the debtor that is foreclosing on the property also has an opportunity to acquire that property through that auction. All right. So what the bank will do is they'll call that attorney and say, "Listen, we'll put in a bid at, 200,000. All right. Now that is usually where the auction starts. The attorney's not gonna, if the bank puts in a bid for 200,000, the attorney's not gonna start the bidding at, 150,000, because they already have 200. All right. So usually if somebody shows up to that auction, it's usually on Saturdays at about 12 o'clock in front of the property. They'll do it right on the doorstep in front of the property. A lot of times, if the property is occupied, you will not have access to that property. You can't see inside of it because there's people still living in it. So you will have to bid on these properties at the auction, sight unseen. Now, you can look at the outside, things that you can see. I don't think you can walk into the backyard or any of that. I think you just have to look at it from the front, where the auction is being held. And you have to, basically bid blindly, on that property. All right. Once the auction is over, whether a person or the bank wins the bid, that property is now foreclosed. Right? So past tense, we went through pre-foreclosure. Now the property is foreclosed once it gets to that auction. All right. If the bank retains the asset, if the bank wins the bid, they retain the asset. Now, this part is what you call a REO, real estate owned property. The bank, the property then goes to the bank's REO department. And then what the bank will do is hire a real estate agent to come out to put the property on the market for sale. All right. So they'll hire a real estate agent to list the property on the market for sale. And these properties that we are going to see today are REO properties, right? Which are also known as foreclosures. People just call them foreclosures on the MLS where they're posted at. They're just posted as bank-owned properties. All right. So these are properties that have been foreclosed on, and the bank is now trying to sell them. So I got 3 properties here in Hampden. We're in Hampden today. And the reason why I wanted to show these videos, number one, is this market is crazy. All right. Even with the high interest rates, property values are still high. Pricing is still high. So these properties are listed well below market value. Some of them, $100,000 under market value. But when you're purchasing a foreclosure, a lot of times they are not in the best condition. If the owner did not have the money to pay the mortgage, they probably did not have the money to maintain the property. Okay. So a lot of these properties are not in the best condition, but that works in your benefit because now you get to control the equity. Right. And we'll talk about that once we go in, but you get to control the equity. You get to make the property how you want it. OK. And a lot of times it doesn't require you to spend a lot of money to invest a lot of money. You can purchase these properties with the FHA 203K program with 3.5% down, or you can also purchase with a 5% down conventional. These are what you call renovation loans. All right. So you can go in there, figure out what needs to be done and get a renovation loan to fix it up. And the only thing that came out of your pocket was your down payment and your closing costs and things like that. We'll talk about closing costs and we'll also talk about renovation budget when looking at these properties as well. Let's go in and check it out and I'll catch back up with you. This is a 3-bed, 1-bath property listed by my man Mike Del Greco with New England Realty Associates. Mike actually was the listing agent on one of my first transactions, man. So Mike's a cool dude, but Mike lists a lot of these real estate owned, bank owned properties. Okay. So this is the first one we're going to check out. I'm going to go inside. We're going to see what it looks like. So this is a bank-owned property. This is a 3-bedroom, 1-bathroom. This is a foreclosed property. So it does need some work. It's not as bad as you would think, in my personal opinion, but it does need some work. Definitely need some paint. The hardwood floors are in great condition. Definitely needs a new kitchen, new bathroom, and some paint. The basement was already kind of finished, so I think you can get away with just kind of freshening that up. The furnace was older, okay? So you might need to put a new furnace in. It was oil. There's definitely gas on the street, so you could convert into gas, but the house is listed at, under 200,000. You know what I mean? Hold on. Right, so the house was listed at 208,000, all right? I know that this property is worth, or will be worth, once it's all fixed up, around 280-ish. I just sold the property around the corner, and the appraisal that we got done was 275, and that was not even in tip-top shape. Like, it didn't have granite countertops and all of that type stuff, like, you know what I mean? So if you update this property, you could be looking at 275, 280-ish. So the question is, can you come into this property, make the necessary renovations, and be under $80,000? I think so. I think the most expensive part would probably be the kitchen, and then probably getting a new furnace. So that's about $30,000 right there. The paint, it's not gonna cost you $10,000 to paint this house, you know what I mean? The hardwood floors are in good condition. I don't even know if you need to sand them, maybe just a light sand, and get them cleaned up. They might even be fine with just a mop, you know what I mean? The room colors, they use a lot of loud colors. Like, so this is a bedroom on the first floor. The room color is red, and the room upstairs is purple. One's purple, one's pink. So definitely some paint. But again, these are not expensive fixes in order to get you in a property under market value and still be able to have some equity. All right. I got 2 more properties we're gonna go check out, 2 more foreclosed properties. So we'll check those out, and I'll talk to you soon. So it's got a garage, 1-car garage I can't get into. I think it has a electric garage door opener. It's got a new garage door on it. The roof on this property is new, so I don't think you ought to worry about putting the roof on. The shingles look pretty new. All right, but check out this yard. So real nice yard. It's fenced in, mostly fenced in. Yeah, it's fenced in. I'd say it's fenced in. There is some cracking in the concrete or whatever, but all of that can be repaired with your renovation loan. All right. If you could get quotes, from a contractor, get a general contractor, let him go out and find a concrete guy, or if you know a concrete guy, you can get him to do the work. All right. But real nice house. I think this is perfect for a renovation loan, and I don't think you got to spend a lot of money. You also got to account for the fact that this property is so cheap. So there's probably going to be a bidding war. As I'm showing this property right now, there's somebody outside waiting to come in, which means, there's going to be a lot of action on this property. But you can still purchase this property and still have some room, for equity and repairs. But let's go check out the next one. So this property is 391 Pine Rock Ave. Again, it's the same style house. This is a 3-bedroom, 1-bathroom, Cape Cod. Okay, this is REO, foreclosed property. Oh, wait a minute now. So it's in the same neighborhood. So this is actually only a 2-bedroom. This is a 2-bedroom, 1-bath. All right. Now, this is in the same neighborhood, so the comps are going to be the same. The value is going to be about the same. But this only has 2 bedrooms, so it could be worth a little bit less. But here's the thing. It's the same style house, Cape Cod. but they never put the bedrooms upstairs. So you got this whole house full of upstairs attic space in this property that you can probably put a third bedroom, maybe fourth bedroom up there. So here's the living room. We got carpet, so that needs to come out. I don't know if there's hardwood floors underneath. You got bedroom number 1. This is probably the bigger one. This is a nice size bedroom. Definitely go king size bed in here. And this is bedroom number 2. So this is a perfect starter home. Full bath right here. And then the kitchen. Is this the basement? No, this is just a closet. So there's no basement door here. Oh, it's in the back probably. But this is the kitchen. Obviously needs a new kitchen. New kitchen, but a lot of space. The walls are in good shape. The ceilings are in good shape. New windows. That's another thing about the other property. You're probably gonna need to update the windows. You don't have to, but you can. So here's the back porch. It's a screened-in porch. I mean, an enclosed porch. There's no heat out here. There is some leaks on the roof back here over this porch, but again, all of that can be rectified with the renovation loan. Again, this property is listed at $177, so it's going to give you plenty of room to make the repairs. Nice backyard, fenced-in yard. It's got a little jungle gym. All that stuff. The roof doesn't look too bad. The roof doesn't look that old. That's another thing when dealing with these foreclosed properties. The bank hasn't, technically owned them, so they don't know a lot of the defects and things that are wrong with the property, as things that would go on the property disclosure. So the only thing they do is they do a little inspection, a little light inspection, and they just mark off what they see. And you're basically buying these properties as is. The bank's not going to fix anything in most cases. But just looking at it, I can tell, like I said, the roof was in not too bad a shape. But the obvious is the obvious. Definitely need a kitchen, bathroom, kitchen, bathroom. Oh, we didn't go in the basement. Let's go check out the basement. So, like a lot of rooms down here. Look at that old stove. Here we go. So furnace, it's definitely an older furnace. Oil. And again, there's gas on the street. I know there's gas on the street, so you can't get it converted over into gas. These are all things that you could put in your renovation loan as well. Let me tell you something about that renovation loan, though. You can do anything as little as landscaping on a renovation loan. You can put a furnace in, you can paint, you can put whatever you want on that renovation loan. I even think you could buy appliances, like television and things like that. You can do whatever you want. You can finish a basement, make a man cave or she cave or whatever. So we'll talk about renovation loans. We're going to check out one more property, and we'll talk more about renovation loans. I said, I get a lot of phone calls about people wanting to purchase foreclosures. And the reason why is because you can get foreclosures pretty cheap, right? The problem comes in where what people think as cheap or as getting a foreclosed property at a discount price has changed. That number has changed because all of the property values have changed. So in the early 2000s, yeah, you could get a foreclosure for under 100 grand, $20,000. You always hear the crazy stories of I bought a foreclosure, a multifamily for $20,000. Well, property values have went up and the banks know this. So now, instead of getting it for 20, you could get properties like this for under 100, which is still cheap considering if this was on the market, if this was a traditional sale, this house is probably almost $300,000, right? So this one is listed at about 200,000 or a little bit under 200,000. So again, you have to establish value, all right? Let's look at the comps. Let's figure out what the property is worth. Then we have to figure out how much it's going to cost to fix up, all right? So this house, I'm at 5 Oberlin. Oberlin is a real nice street. It's a quiet street. It's actually like a little half circle. Like the only time you come down the street is if you know somebody over here or you live over here. So there's not a lot of through traffic over here. But you're gonna need a kitchen. I didn't take a look at the roof. I'll take a look at the roof outside. It may need a roof. It's got a nice fenced in backyard. There's a lot of trash, a lot of rubbish. All of this stuff I'm talking about, you can definitely get in your renovation loan. So the way the renovation loan works is they come out and they do an appraisal on the property, basically saying, let's just say the house is worth 300. All right. You purchased the house for, let's just say 220. All right. So you got $80,000 difference there that you can use to renovate this property. Now, is it going to cost you $80,000 to renovate? That's where the contractor would come in. But being that I flip properties, I renovate properties, I don't see a lot in these properties, especially this one, that's going to cost you $80,000. A kitchen might cost you somewhere between 10 and 20, depending on how nice you want it. A bathroom might cost you about 5,000, somewhere between 5 and 7 at the most. And a roof, you probably could get a roof for 10 to 15,000, maybe not even. So depending on who your contractor is, get different contractor quotes and you'll be able to make this happen. So these 3 properties that I just showed you are perfect starter homes. My man MG, the mortgage guy, made a TikTok or an Instagram reel about whatever happened to the starter homes. And in this market, we need starter homes. It's expensive, So if this house was, in tip-top shape, ready to sell, it'll probably sell for like $300,000. All right, your mortgage payments on that will probably be about 25-ish, depending on the taxes and your homeowner's insurance, because the interest rates are up. So now's the time to take advantage of these inexpensive properties that you can fix up and make it your own. You can make this house look like that $300,000 house without spending $300,000. You understand? So that's why I wanted to do this video. That's why I wanted to talk about foreclosures. There seems to be a lot hitting the market. There was a pause, if you will, on foreclosures during COVID. So a lot of these banks with their real estate owned properties are like kind of backlogged, but they're running now. So you're going to start seeing a lot of properties coming up. HUD homes, we're going to take a look at some HUD homes and talk about that process as well. But this is a perfect place to start in an expensive market to get in the market with equity. With equity. With equity. Did I say equity? Here's another thing I wanted to talk about. If you are a homeowner and you are going through foreclosure, you've been late on your mortgage and you're starting to get those letters, you're starting to get those phone calls, you have options, okay? There's help out here for you. There's a list of housing counselors that your bank has to provide to you. Some of them are government funded. Some of them are nonprofit organizations. There's housing counselors that you can go to. I'll put a list of some housing counselors below. So if you're going through the foreclosure process, you can reach out to them and they will help you navigate through this process, okay? If you need help and you're dealing with foreclosure, don't let the bank take your house. 9 times out of 10 in this market, you got equity. You got money you can walk away with, get a fresh start over, maybe rent. Maybe you got enough money in here to go buy something cash. You know what I mean? So there's different things that you can do. I have a team of attorneys that are actually on the foreclosure committee, so they are very fluent in the foreclosure process. We were able to get a client, we stopped the foreclosure, was able to sell the house. That property didn't have a lot of equity, so we were able to get it sold with a short sale. So again, there's options, there's different things that you can do if you're going through this. And I know how it is when you get to that point and in your mind, you're like, listen, I want to catch up. I got to keep my house and I'm going to work hard and I'm going to hustle. I'm going to get this money up and I'm going to pay it. And then you get to that point, there's like that point of no return where I'm running out of time. It's too late. You understand? It's becoming too late. And at that point, you got to have a realistic conversation with yourself and be able to make the necessary move. Yes, it happened. Yes, we are here, right? But that doesn't mean that your life is over. That doesn't mean that it's over for you. So we can get the situation corrected or be able to, capitalize off of the situation to put you in a better situation for the future. All right. If you need any help with foreclosures or pre-foreclosures, let me know. My link is in the bio. Schedule a consultation. I'll talk to you soon.